practice. My name is Calliope, and I'm going to be taking care of you today. How are you doing today? Okay. I hope by the time you leave my office, you feel even just the littlest bit better. So I'd like to ask you just a couple of questions before we begin, okay? Real simple, nothing too crazy. So first, I just wanted to ask what your personal experience with chiropractic work is. Have you seen a chiropractor before? Have you ever had any adjustment at all? Okay, interesting. So, what exactly did you seek my help for? Do you have some sort of pain or any sort of tightness in a particular area of the body? Okay. Okay, excellent. And how long has that been going on for you? Okay, so after a while you decided to get it checked out, and that's why you're here. Okay, no problem. So just a quick question. You don't have to tell me where you work or exactly what you do, but what do you do for a living? And I ask this question because depending on whether you work a primarily sedentary job or one with a lot of manual labor, one with a lot of walking, depends on how I treat you, and it depends on how I help you work around that particular positioning so that we can ease your problems, we can alleviate it, so we won't have too many problems down the line, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, very good. So we'll definitely check that out and see if that is possibly one of the causes or something that is exacerbating your condition. Okay? All right, so we are going to do just a quick little exam so I can get a baseline on you. I'm going to sanitize my hands real quick, okay? I will need to be touching you for the exam and obviously for the adjustment as well. Is that okay with you? Have your permission to do that? Wonderful. So let me just clean up a bit. So we are going to be doing some moving around, all right? So what I'm going to have you do is I want you to stand up for me, and I am going to be coming around you, and I'm going to be looking at your back, okay? I'm also going to have you do a little bit of movement for me, and I want to get a good gauge of what your body looks like, its general relaxed posture. I want to see how your body moves, if there's anything that is working a little too hard or maybe not enough. I want to see how your spine looks, and to get this entire picture, we're going to be doing a little bit of movement, okay? All right, so I'm going to have you stand up for me. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to come around you, okay? All right. Okay, so now that I have you at standing, I'm just going to have you relax as best as you can, okay? Don't try to hold yourself in any position. Don't try to make yourself seem like you have a straighter posture. Don't try to do any of that, okay? Because if you're masking how you normally are, then it's more difficult for me to figure that out and then treat that, okay? So even if it's a little awkward, just try to relax, okay? All right, so looking here, so I can definitely see that one side is a little higher than the other, and that's pretty common with many patients that I see, okay? So most of us tend to lean into one side or the other. For many people that carry bags or they carry certain things on one side, whether it's children or bags, anything heavy on one side is going to pull that side down and pull the other side up. So just looking here, we've got that little bit of leaning there. From right here, your spine looks okay, but I'll double check that. Everybody has a little bit of a curve somewhere in addition to the normal S curve of the spine, but looks pretty good here, okay? So now we're gonna do a little bit of movement. I'm gonna come back for just a moment. So what I'm going to have you do is I want you to walk to the other side of the room and back for me. And again, just walk as you normally would. Don't try to mask anything. If you tend to be heavier on one side than the other, I want to be able to see that. Again, things that are masked are going to be a little harder to find out, okay? All right, so if you could just walk to the other end of the room for me. Okay. And if you could come back for me. Okay. So definitely I can see your head's a little bit forward as well. Do you tend to get headaches a lot? Okay, so that might be part of it as well. Might be a little impingement, some pinched nerves going on, but we'll do a little more investigating and we'll see what's going on. So now I am going to have you bend forward and you can try to touch your toes. All I really need you to do is go as far as your knees, okay? So if that's more comfortable, that's no problem. And the reason we do that is it exaggerates your spine a bit so that it's easier to see if there's any curve or if there's anything off going on in the back and spine, okay? All right, so I'm just going to come around you again and I'm going to examine your spine. Okay, so if you could just bend forward for me. Excellent, okay. So this is where I take a look at the spine itself. I'm trying to see if there's one side that's higher than the other. I'm trying to see if there's one area of tightness, or one side rather. The body tries to compensate a lot, and oftentimes it has good intentions, but it goes about it in the wrong way. So over time, it makes these problems worse. But if we just look at each individual vertebra here, all the way from the sacrum to where your head meets your neck here. How is this right here? Is this tender for you? Or any pain in that? Maybe a little bit? Okay. right there. Spine looks good. Again, I'm not seeing any crazy curves to one side or another, so that's good. Okay. And anything right here? Do you feel any pain, any tenderness here? Okay. All right, so you can go ahead and come back up. Yep, and go at it a little slow. And I'm gonna sit right back down. Okay, you can just take a moment to reorient yourself. Yeah, being bent down like that for a while kind of makes the blood rush to your head. So I'm just going to take a moment and write some notes down, and then we're going to start working in on our adjustment, okay? All right, so give me just a moment. Okay, excellent. So from here, the types of adjustments that I do have a lot of different techniques in them, okay? So oftentimes I will start with some soft tissue manipulation, some lymphatic drainage if we need to. This helps warm up the tissues and helps the muscles kind of get used to my touch a bit, and it also makes it so they're a little more primed to be adjusted, if that makes sense, so that if I go in cold that they're not tensing up all of a sudden, just kind of like that, you know. If your body is much more relaxed, it's going to respond a lot better to the adjustment. It's not going to try to fight against it, okay? So I'm going to start with you lying on your back on the table, face up, and we're going to start working with the neck. So I'll be feeling around. I usually use a little bit of oil, and that gives me a little bit of slide on the skin. And I'll be working with those muscles, opening up the tissues a little bit, and then we'll do some adjustments, okay? All right, any questions so far? Okay, I just need you to let me know if anything is painful or uncomfortable. Some of these adjustments might feel a little strange, especially since you haven't had them before, and I want you to let me know if anything feels wrong to you, okay? Some of these can be a little intense. So if we need to dial it back, that's more than okay. We can always do the heavier stuff another day. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get you laid down on the table, face up. All right? Excellent. Okay, how are we doing? All right, you comfortable? Okay, good. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to come up underneath your shoulders here, and we're going to do a little feeling around here. And the reason that I'm coming in here again is partially to warm up the tissue, but I also want to check in on how your muscles are doing, how the fascia is responding, how your vertebrae act when in this position. And that helps me determine what we can do with you to make you feel better, okay? So I'm just going to grab a little bit of oil here. Okay, and this is going to help this go a lot easier. There we go. So we're going to warm up the tissues. And I'm just going to be feeling around, doing some investigating. Is this muscle tighter than the others? Is this one going to fight me a little bit? Do I need to put in a little bit of pressure so that we can relax this area? And I can also do some lymphatic drainage. And we can move around some of the lymph. When our muscles get so tight, then sometimes we get some stagnation of fluid. And while we're working this area, we're also trying to bring some blood flow to the area. We're helping to flush it out. And we're helping it to heal. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a couple of adjustments, all right? So I want you to just try to relax, okay? I'm going to have you the whole time, but I am going to be holding your head and I'm going to be turning you to the side, okay? And I'll let you know when I'm going to do it so that you're not surprised. Okay? Alright, so let me just turn you here. Good. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, how was that? Good, that was okay? Alright, and that's what it's mostly going to be like, alright? So I'm going to we're going to do another little adjustment on this side, okay? So let me turn your head. 1, 2, 3. Good, okay. And now I'm going to do that on the other side, okay? Let me turn your head, okay? 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay, and one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. So let me put your head back in neutral. Okay, and you're gonna feel some pressure. I'm just gonna just have my fingers pressing in along the neck here. Just under the neck. We're going to wait here for just a moment. I want to feel those muscles release. Okay, and I can feel them let go. So that's good. So the neck, that's your first adjustment, okay? Now we're going to be working at the feet. Okay, so let me get up here and coming down to your feet here, okay? So I am going to be wrapping some tissue around your toes here, and this helps me get a little bit of traction, but I'm just going to be pulling on each of your toes, okay? We're going to see if they crack. All right. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then I'm just going to be grabbing your foot here, okay? And real quick, I'm just gonna pull down, okay? And right there. Very good. The other side. Grab onto your toes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And a quick grab on your leg. Okay. How was that? Was okay? All right. So now I'm going to do another adjustment with your legs here. So I'm going to be just bending your leg here. All right. So let's bring this up. Let's bend the knee. Okay. And I'm just going to be just pushing your foot down. All right. So let's go like that. Okay. Yep, there's a little bit there. And I'm going to put that leg down. And come to the other side. We're going to bend the knee. And I'm going to be pushing the foot kind of down and back, all right? Ready? Okay, that was good. Alrighty, so you just sit down real quick. Okay, so now I am going to have you lie face down on the table. We're going to be doing quite a bit of work here. And again, I want you to let me know if anything's too intense, if it's painful, if it's uncomfortable. I won't be able to see your face, so I can't tell from visual cues if it is. All right? Okay, so let's have you go ahead and lie down on the table, face down. Okay, so how are you doing here? All right, everything feels okay? All right, excellent. So we're going to be doing some adjustments with your back, all right? So this might be a little bit intense, okay? What I'm going to have you do is I will tell you to take a deep breath in, and then when you exhale, I'm just going to be pushing down, okay? We're going to be doing a little bit of that thrust movement, okay? So just relax your arms, let them just stay loose at the side, okay? All right, so I'm gonna have you take a deep breath in, okay? And exhale. Good, okay, how was that? That was okay? All right, let's do another one here. Deep breath in and exhale. Good. Deep breath in, exhale. Good, 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 good. All right, deep breath in, exhale. Good. Deep breath in, exhale. Excellent. I think we can probably get one more, maybe two, okay? Deep breath in, exhale. Good. All right, let me feel. No, I think that took care of it. Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to be taking my tissue and I'm going to be pulling up on the skin of your lower back, okay? So that might be a little uncomfortable, and I'm just going to be pulling up, all right? Okay, so here we go. Ready? Okay. Good? Good. let's see. All right, that should be good. Okay. So let's go ahead and get some oil. And let's work into the tissue. So when I am adjusting your back, when I'm adjusting your body, oftentimes we're going the deepest layer up, okay? So when I do the adjustments with the cracking, that's deep within your body. And then when I use this sort of cross friction, deep tissue massage-like movements, this is working a more middle layer of your body. And later we're going to bring out the gua sha tool, and that'll work the superficial layer, okay? So we're working from deepest to most superficial. So this is kind of an intense massage, yeah? Yeah. Just let me know if it's too much pressure, okay? A little bit more oil. There. Okay. So I tend to work on your back the longest, just because that tends to be the area of most concern with most people, right? So we worked on your neck a little bit, but you didn't have too much going on. We worked on your feet a little bit, your legs, your hips, and that was pretty good too, overall. The back is usually where we spend the most time. Okay, so I'm going to move your arm here. We're just going to bring this behind your back, okay? And then I'm laying your forearm along your lower back. And here is where we can really work into the scapula. I'm going to be moving your arm around a little bit, because with each movement, we're engaging different muscles, bringing some to the surface, others lie down a little bit. Some constrict, some relax. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take your arm, and I'm just going to lay this overhead, okay? Right, so you can just leave this at the top of the table, and then we're working in more towards the bottom, the base of the arm, where it attaches to the back. How's this pressure for you? Okay. Very good. I'm just going to put this arm back down, all right? And this time I'm gonna come around to the side here, and we're gonna work the other side, okay? There we go. So let me get just a little bit more oil here. Excellent. So now we're going to do this cross fiber kind of friction here. Working into the more middle layer. So there's only so far that I can get today, but the more that I see you, the more it'll be easier for these muscles, for the fascia to open up for me. It'll be easier to adjust. It'll be more like tweaks rather than full-on adjustments. As long as we keep addressing the reason we need to adjust you, and we keep pursuing better positioning for your body, then it'll be just more like little tweaks. Just sort of a little more guidance. Okay, and I'm going to bring your arm back behind your back and lay your forearm on your lower back. Okay, and then we can work into the scapula here. Okay, and I'm going to bring your arm up and over. We're going to lay that just above your head here. Okay, how's that? It's okay? All right, we're going to work more towards the base of your arm. And this pressure is okay? Good. Good, good, good. Now this side is a little easier to work here. This was the side that was a little lower than the other. So I got to put a little bit more pressure on the other side. Okay, and then I'm just going to put your arm down here so you can let it just lay there loose, okay? And now I'm going to be working a lot with your lower back. So we're going to do some effleurage here so we can get some of this oil distributed on your back. And then I'm going to be working a lot. I tend to work the lower back with my forearms quite a bit. It gives me a long, stable pressure along the entire arm so I can work the whole back in large areas with the same kind of pressure. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking my forearm and we're just going to go down, down, down. How is this for you? Sometimes this is a little intense. Just smoothing this out. Usually this doesn't take too much time. It's when we do the gua sha that it takes a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to grab that gua sha tool. So I've been throwing that term around a lot, the gua sha. Now, gua sha is a Chinese word that means scraping, literally, scrape. Okay, and it might be a little chilly at first, okay? We're just going to be working the gua sha tool. So the gua sha tool is basically a long edge, okay? And mine here is made out of jade. You can find them in all sorts of different crystal compositions. You can find them in metal, in wood, even in bone. But I'm going to be using this jade one here. And this is where I start to work into the superficial layers, okay? So on the surface, your skin's going to be really red, okay? And there's going to be patterns that look like bruising. And that should go away within 4 to 7 days, okay? It might be a little sore. I don't generally hear of anyone saying it's painful. It just looks painful, if that makes sense. But this helps bring all that healthy blood flow to the surface. And we'll see a lot more movement in the fascia, in the lymph. Okay, so the lower back tends to look the worst. It's often the area that's most stuck on a lot of people. But then when we come up here, we work the shoulder, the upper back, the middle back. Sometimes we get these little areas of deeper redness, but overall it just tends to pink up a little. And then when we go up the side of the neck here, this also tends to just pink up a bit. Maybe a concentrated area or two of deeper redness. Okay, so let me just move around here, and I'm going to be working the other area of your back, the other side, the upper and the middle. Is pressure okay? Okay. Just work this for a little bit. We'll get the neck, and then we'll do the rest of your body, okay? Right. And we'll work into the neck here. Just a little pink here. It's mostly the lower back that has the most coloring. Okay. You go ahead and put that down, right? Okay, so now I'm going to have you turn on your side. Really doesn't matter which side since we'll be working both sides, okay? All right, so you just go ahead and turn over. Good, okay. So I'm going to kind of position you here. So we're going to bend this top leg here. We're going to bend your knee. And then I'm going to bring your arms and we're going to lay them over each other, just on your rib cage here. Okay. All right, so you're going to feel a hand on your shoulder as well as your hip. And then we're going to do a little bit of adjustment on the spine here. Okay. All right, go ahead and take a deep breath in for me. And exhale. Good, okay. So let's go ahead and switch sides here, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna bring the other leg up, bend the knee, okay? And we're gonna put your arms, there you go, just on your rib cage here. Okay, and you're gonna feel a hand on your hip, a hand on your shoulder, and just take a deep inhale for me. And out. Okay, very good. Is that okay? All right, sounds good. So now I'm gonna have you go ahead and sit up for me. So now I'm just gonna have you put your hands on your hips, okay? We're gonna do just a little bit more work, all right? Almost done, not quite, okay? All right, so go ahead and keep your hands on your hips. All right, and I'm just gonna thread my arm through here. We're just gonna do a quick little, there, just like that, okay? So if you could just let me have this arm. Yep, I'm just going to be cracking your fingers, and then we're doing a little arm pull, okay? So do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one was a little tricky. And then I'm just gonna be pulling your arm real quick. Just like that, all right? We're just going to do that on the other side, okay? Go ahead and put your hands on your hips. Good. And I'm gonna thread my arm through here and good. Right. And if I could have your hand, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a quick arm pull. Just like that. Excellent. Okay, if you'll just give me a moment. Bring my chair back. Okay, so how are you feeling? Yeah, it oftentimes feels a little strange when you first get adjusted. Your body was stuck in one position for so long, and then it kept just building and building and building on top of that incorrect positioning. So now you might feel a little bit of soreness, but I think you'll find that your body's going to feel a lot more loose. You might even have a little bit greater range of movement, okay? And that's what we aim to do with each session. We want to experience a little less soreness. We want to get a little more looseness. And we want to get a little more range of movement each time, okay? All right, so do you have any questions for me at all? Okay, that's fine. If you think of any, you're more than welcome to call the office. So for you, I think we can start with once a week would be good. We could go up to twice a week if you would like, if that works for you. That would be ideal, but I know a lot of people are very busy. And we'll start with that, and we'll see in a few weeks if we can space it out a little bit more. And at the end, you may only need to come in once a month or so just to keep up on that adjustment, okay? All right, so I'd like to thank you so much for coming into my practice today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you.